Well, welcome to the Big Leap Bridge community. I'm so excited to be here again. It's been really a while for me to be in this space. My name is Michele Yasuda, and I am the program director for the Big Leap Home online programs. So these programs support individuals, organizations, and communities in generating agency, connection, and creativity on our shared planet. And I just feel so happy every time I say those words. This call that you're on is part of that intention. It's how we do it. The Big Leap Bridge calls are 1 hour, um, 1 hour Zoom calls where we get to play with a Hendrix tool in community and learn together and grow together. And we've been doing it a long time. And I feel really pleased that this idea that myself and one other colleague of mine Deb, why is her last name? Darlene, help me out.
Awesome.
Deb Glass, yes, who I got to get to know through the Leadership and Transformation program with the Hendricks. We kind of dreamt up this idea because we thought it would be really fun to be able to connect with people and play with these practices. So here we are a lot of years later, and what I'm excited about is we're exploring the Restoring Resourcefulness program through this context now. And we're going to be doing this until we complete the all 7 modules. So this is module 2 and module 2 of what we're doing. They're not really numbered, so I'll just say that. And so let's see. I want to just let you know that we have an online presence on the Mighty Networks, and it's the Hendrix community. And it's a place where you can learn about calls like this. I'm going to go ahead and pop this into the chat right now, an invitation to join. And here we go. In case you have not joined that yet, this is a space where you can communicate with other folks who are interested in the Hendrix tools. And again, hear about tools. There's wonderful posts on there that are really inspiring. So I find them really inspiring. Matching. Let's see. As our tradition in the Big Leap Bridge community, um, the facilitator, I do an appreciation for the facilitator. Tonight, I'm going to be one of those. I'm going to start out by appreciating my co-facilitator. And so, Diana, um, how do I even encapsulate in words what I experience as your magnificence? Your presence is love in action. I'll use the title of what we our calls on Mondays. Love in action. You are love in action. And what I love about it is that love comes with a fierceness. It comes with power and strength. And you're not afraid to speak truth to a space where you feel there's something that needs to be said, you say it. And I really appreciate that about you. And you feel so deeply and you love so greatly. And on top of it, you're incredibly intelligent and are such an amazing teacher of these tools. So that's my words about you, my friend. So I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce yourself.
Wow. Woo. I am just sparkling from that nourishing appreciation. Thank you, Michelle. Um, well, my name is Diana Nunes Mizer, and I am delighted to be here. I'm delighted to be a coach. And the Hendrix tools just light up my life in so many ways. I have a background in birth work. I trained to be a midwife and have attended births as a doula for about 30 years. And also, I coach parents. I created a conscious parenting program many years ago that I still teach. And I work with individuals and couples every day. And it's just my total joy. And so I get to practice these tools and share them often, which is a great joy. And I'm really excited to share them with you right now. So, yeah, that's me. And I would like to appreciate Michelle. Wow. This is just prepare for this
Getting
appreciation.
ready. I'm getting ready.
So I was thinking about Michelle. I often think about Michelle. I There are so many things that I love and appreciate about you, Michelle, and one of them is your clear insights. You are just connected, and you get these downloads and share them and put the pieces together in ways that are super delightful and fun for me to play with. So, and I was thinking about, I think you have this wide angle lens that can really see a lot of layers of things. And you have committed to being a lifelong learner. And I enjoy just the energy you bring. It's very rare that I feel that, matched in my passion for living and learning. And I get that with you. So I love having you as a playmate. And your excitement for living and learning and sharing and growing together. And it's funny that you mentioned my fierceness, because I was loving also your spiciness. You're so sweet, but you have that spice, which I love the spice.
Ah, ooh, thank you, Diana. Wow. I feel really seen by you, which is what a rare thing it is to feel so fully seen by another human. And I think that is something that in our community, I think it's not so rare. And that's what's really beautiful. It's rare out in the kind of out in the wild, I'm going to call it. And that is one of the gifts of being in this community is that we truly commit to. I see a commitment over and over again in the community to be with each other, to presence and connect and play. So thank you so much. So I'll just introduce myself now for in my other context. So I do wear a lot of hats, and that is something that was really fun for me to finally embrace. This is who I am. I'm not going to be somebody who does one thing. That I've never done that in my entire life. And I used to be really criticized for that. Oh, you don't stick with things, or you this, or you that. And one of the big healing moments for me was being in this community, being seen in that, like having that be seen in a new way, having that be seen as an actual asset. And no doubt it can actually be, there's a shadow side to that. There's another side to that. There's no question of that. When fear gets entangled in it, it can go the other way. But what I notice is that here I'm able to weave through many contexts and have that appreciated. And so that took a long time in my life to reach that. So I am the enrollment specialist for the Hendricks Institute. So I support facilitating their trainings, and I support people in finding their way to the right training and all of that. I also, I already said that I am the program director for the Foundation for Conscious Living. And so I love supporting the nonprofit side of the Hendricks work and to see how they circulate the work out into the world from that context. And my great joy, that's greater than all, is my work as a big leap coach and a relationship coach. And like Diana, I do it every day. And I get to actually use these tools and see the impact in other people's lives. And I call myself a sassy visionary who plants seeds of possibilities to awaken the essential self. And so I do that in all those ways that I mentioned. And thank you. Thank you for listening. So I'm going to go ahead and toss this over to you, Diana, so that we can get into our topic for the day. And yeah, thanks for being with us, everyone. Hmm.
Well, if you've hung around this community much, you realize that the body is included. The body is invited and included in our work, which, is really taking off in other areas. But I love to give Katie, really, she is such a pioneer in this, in bringing the body into our transformational work. And right now also in addition to somatics and the body being a buzzword out there, authenticity is also a buzzword, which again, Gay and Katie were so pioneering with. And when we were, I've explored matching in different capacities with different playmates in the Hendrix world, and I love this tool because it's this invitation to full presence and authenticity in this moment. And sometimes, if you've been in this world before and you've watched us bodify and then matching, what's the difference? What's the difference between bodifying? Oh, matching is just bodifying, right? And I loved my colleague Christina Turner, who is incredible, a Hendrix coach. She said, I see matching or bodifying as an invitation to play with stories, to play with maybe what happened in the past or what you want to have happen, and that you can exaggerate, make bigger, and play, and that matching is an invitation to authenticity. So it's really using our body or sounds or words to match what my inner experience is right now. And when I think about matching, I think about its opposite, which would be like masking, right? So I'm masking, I'm hiding what's really happening. So we're really trained to do that. And, originally I talked about my work with birth and babies just match automatically. You learn, since they don't have language as a tool, gesture is really our first language, and you watch their bodies and they're doing it. They're putting their hand next to their face when they're hungry, or they're squirming as they're digesting their food, or maybe they're you can just see what's going on with them. And little kids, they don't hide it. There's no hiding yet, but we learn to hide so that we can be polite and that we can move through life. And also we learn to be more still. And right now with our devices, there's a stillness that's really coming in, more and more. So I feel like using our body is such an incredible essential tool. So when I think about matching, I think about this idea of being fully with my inner experience. And when I'm working with clients, often they are not able to tell me what's going on in their body. Like they're so cut off from it. And that was me too in the beginning of this work. I love to be in my head, but my body, what, you're asking me to be in that too? And so when we're able to bring the body in, to use it as a tool to creatively express what we're experiencing, we get better and better at training our attention onto what's actually happening in here. And it is a practice, right? It takes some practice. So, is there anything else I want to say about that?
Hmm.
I think I guess the one more thing I want to say is that what I love about matching is the opportunity for me to be in myself. If you've had any experience in noticing where your attention goes, I'm an outie. I'm kind of hyper out here, training myself to others. And so to train myself into my own being has been a really cool opportunity. So I think that, and over the weekend, many of us, I see some of you that got to be together in person. Hi, a lot of Carly. Yes, we got to, and we've been exploring a little bit with Katie. What does it mean? What does love mean? What does it mean to love? What is that? And we've been exploring this idea of being with, being fully with And of course, that's one of the major power moves we have in this work is turning toward. And so matching is also a way to turn toward your experience in real time. So that's what I want to say about that.
That's all. That's all. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, yeah, I was thinking it was perfect timing this morning. I was writing a message to somebody, and they had expressed that they were kind of confused about something on our Mighty Networks. And so I wrote back and I said, "Yes, it's confusing." And then I got this little thing in my body that went, eh. And I wrote again and I said, actually, I find it confusing. And so just that shift to what is actually accurate. It's not accurate for me to say that the whole thing is confusing. I don't want to speak on behalf of everyone else. I'm just going to speak to my own experience. And so that's one of my favorite ways to match is to have like an autocorrect, and it is automatic now for me, uh, that if I say something that doesn't quite match, I have to, I'm compelled to make that adjustment. And I'm happy about that. I'm happy that I've trained myself, and that is a practice of over and over again feeling my body. Like Diana was saying, when I started in this work, and now it's been almost 10 years, when I started in the work, um, I felt mostly, I thought up here, and I felt probably the two sensations I would feel in my body would be if I had a little butterflies in my stomach, if I got fluttery about something I was nervous about, or I would get this very dense feeling in here that I later have identified as where I was stuck, where sadness would get stuck when it wasn't expressed, or where words were not expressed that wanted to be expressed. And it would just get stuck here in this very dense, and it would happen a lot. So those were the two sensations I was aware of that my body would speak to me. Other than that, it was pain. If I hurt my arm, I would feel that pain, but I didn't have a sense of my body communicating with me. And what I love about a practice like matching is that it can help you develop that practice. So little by little by little, I didn't know how to turn on my connection with my sensations, but I trusted that it would happen through the practices. And so that's all I did was I just started practicing each of the things. And so that's one of my favorite things is to match in words what's actually happening inside of me. I'm also a big sound person. And if you're around me enough, you're going to hear, especially like, mm, Ah, it just comes out, and I like making sounds, and before when I went like matching the experience of whatever it is with sound is another way that I really appreciate this tool. So it's another
Yeah.
way that, especially if I don't know how to express the words, like if I were to say, when I was saying to Diana, how can I encapsulate this appreciation I have for you? So one of the ways would be to bodify, as Diana said. I could bodify. I could go like this and make a big heart. I could, right? And if I match it, it's like like matching my experience of my heart opening and like just feeling that feeling inside, because maybe I don't have the words. So I'm just gonna do that. And I'm saying just, but it's not a just. It's like I'm going to do this. And yeah, so that's another one of my favorite ways to match is with sound.
And there's ways we do that with sound. Like, I mean, if you think about it, what do you notice? What would be a sound you would make if somebody's matching exasperation? You could just do it right now.
Ugh,
You know?
ugh, ugh.
I want to just offer this up too, that, sometimes we match unconsciously, which would be, flags that we see or such, or you kind of spot some, body language things. But when we consciously match our inner experience to our outer expression, we take away the wobble from our nervous system, right? Like we get to actually be in resonance with ourselves. And
Hmm.
we're taking away that the interference or the energy that it takes to mask or to not be fully with what's happening. But you mentioned sound, and we're gonna play with matching with you. I'm guessing that you might be ready to play. Um,
I was just having that thought. Finish your thought, and then I had another thought about it.
yeah, but that I just want to share some of the fun metaphors that I've heard before as we played with words with matching. So we can use sound, we can use our body, and you can also use metaphor. And one time, one of my Hendrix buddies says, I feel like a ship's mast that's been through a big storm and I'm battered and kind of coming into the port, you know? And it was such a clear, I could, oh, I get that experience. Another
Yeah.
one that I loved was, feel like I'm just, I'm like a bud kind of coming through, opening up, and in this process of becoming of something new. And I thought that was just a really rich, image. And so I wanted to share with you that metaphor can be a
Mm.
great tool for matching too.
And so fun. And what you're opening up as well is we're all unique beings and we all have our own ways of communicating with ourselves and with others. And that's what I like is that with matching, there's a whole bunch of different portals that you can use to be able to do that. So I was thinking about when when you said before about the not having a wobble, like that's how I felt when I came back into, oh, corrected my words so that I was aligned. What over the weekend, someone was having an experience of a person was communicating with them and they were noticing something that was out of a wobble, basically. So they were hearing the words the person was saying, but they were noticing the facial expression. They were noticing the body language of what the person was saying. And it caused them to go, as a result of that, they went into a fear response and that has to do with their own experience of life and what they learned as a young person about wobbles. And what was cool is for everybody to experience that and then they made up a story. You're not telling the truth. And it was really fascinating to catch that. Oh, actually, that's an assumption. That's a story you're making up based on the fact that you see something slightly off. And I was sharing that when I get into big groups, it's not happening as much anymore. But years ago, I would feel really scared to be in the group. So I would have kind of a frenetic energy, but I was thinking I'm containing it and so I'm trying to communicate with others and be like, la, 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 but it was like slightly above all of that energy. And so it wasn't really me. So people would be kind of like, what's going on over there? Until someone once shared it with me in the context of our shared learning. And I got it. And I realized, oh, I need to say, oh, I notice I'm feeling scared. And then, oh, okay. All right, cool. So that all that energy there, I see you're scared. And now we can communicate knowing what's going on. So matching is really an incredible tool for relationships because we do see each other. We do see what's going on beyond what's coming out of someone's mouth.
Well,
And even if we don't consciously see it, our nervous system does.
Yes, and I just would love to see, I love seeing all of your beautiful faces, but I would love to just see if you raise your physical hand, how many of you relate to you see someone say something, but you know it's not what they actually, something is off in when you're seeing that. So yeah, so everybody who has a camera on has that experience. So, but how often do you notice it within yourself that you are not matching?
Mm.
You do notice it. Andrea says yes. Yeah. So I just think it's such an awesome thing to consider. What I'm working with right now is I can totally see it when my partner does it, not as much when I do it. And then
Mm.
oh, I focus on what he's doing because that's the thing that's in front of me. But and just match. If I actually take the time to then to match, I
Mm.
bring resonance to our interaction more because I think, like I said, it's easier to see it. And this might raise your hand if this is resonating. Does anyone else find it easier to notice when someone else is not matching than when you're not matching? So that's an interesting. I think that's an interesting. It's just it's so human.
It is so human. Yeah, because I know Katie has said in the past, we're always the last to see. And she's talking about, those parts of ourselves that are operating, but we're not. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. I see. That's great. Um, we do there we have blind spots. And so practicing matching more and more puts gives us more, like, now the mirrors have a little thing so that it's not such a blind spot anymore, right? You can have that little mirror, whatever it is, so we can start to do that for ourselves and shine a light on. So I think that's the cool part of it, is in relating we get to learn more about ourselves. And I was just thinking, how about we practice together when we're not matching, when our words don't match what's happening inside of us.
Yes.
And one that it comes up for me, and then maybe we could take turns trying one on. But it's like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm
Julie,
fine.
perfect.
Yeah. So anybody willing to try one out, just raise your hand and unmute yourself. Come and play. Yeah, Julie.
I'll share one one that I caught myself where I was wobbling is when I said I'd love to have coffee, and inside I was like, oh God, no, I don't want to have coffee. I just want to stay home.
That is such a good one. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. That's a powerful one. We could do a whole class on that, just on that. Yeah. Anyone else have one? Anyone? Yeah, Rashonda.
So, with the last month's workshops around like yes and no
Oh.
and half-assed no's specifically, I had somebody ask, and it was over email, so I had time to like sit with it. But they were like, yeah, just send me a reminder the day before and I'll let you know if I can make it. And I was like, no. No, no. I was so like there was so much to unpack there. I was so triggered. I'm like, man, you're an adult. Remind your own damn self. And um then and I still feel bad about it though.
Oh.
But I did own and say, no, this doesn't feel like, I don't want to give the whole,
Yeah.
back and forth, but I did own the no because it just felt so icky inside. I was just like, ugh, like I don't
Mhm.
want to do that. Like I want to be with people who take responsibility, like and I don't want to meet more of your friends, It was to go to a networking event.
All right. Wow.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
that was my reaction. I'm
Yeah. That's it.
still, yeah, but it's still like with the no, saying like owning the no, kind of giving some explanation. It didn't feel like a whole yes, that's what I'm
Hmm.
playing around with over here. I
Hmm.
still feel bad about it.
Ah, Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Want to match that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Show, yeah. Match your feeling bad about that. Love that idea. Mhm.
Oh, oh.
Like a ah. Like,
I'm just,
oh, did I do something wrong? Oh,
like that's what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
just have to, I want to appreciate that beautiful example of how matching is related to finding our yes and our no, or how we can help arrive there. That's such a beautiful connection. I love that.
Yeah.
And so many of us are communicating via text or emails or things like that. And so totally appropriate to match y'all. Like, really get in, include your body in receiving the text or receiving the email, and let yourself like imagine what that would be like if we really were spending time match. And the more I do this, then the more it's available to me when I need to use it, when I'm more likely to get a freeze when I'm interacting with somebody else. So I just think that's such a great example, Rashonda. Thank you. Love that.
Yeah, I love that. I was thinking that the person was matching their ambivalence with their answer. So
Yeah.
funny enough, they were matching, but they weren't realizing what they were revealing because, well, I'm making up a story that they might not, there I am matching. They might not recognize that they revealed their maybe I'll go, maybe I won't. And then on top of it, having you be responsible for so that they're matching something they're matching a wobble in their integrity I want to make a story of. So this is another thing of being able to tune in and say what's really happening here. So yeah, there's a huge connection with the yes and no's, and yeah, like what would it be like to not carry other people's wobbles and to simply be in my own yes and no and let others take care of themselves. And this is me, that's them. And yeah, what a it free I notice in me that has freed up so much energy, not caregiving everyone else in what they need and want, but actually seeing that, yeah, my own integrity creates an experience for myself with others. And if it's not matched out there the way that I want, like you said, you don't want to hang around with more people like that, then you get to come back and see like what does match with me, what does work for me.
You know,
So yeah. Yeah.
I think that someone just came on to maybe share, but I want to also just share what this is bringing up for me is that matching is also a way to take up space with my authentic experience, right?
I think you just put words to what I was trying to say. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Matching. Yeah, could you say that again if you think of
Yeah.
the words
So,
again?
matching is a way to take up space with my real time experience. And notice that my real time experience is also evolving in real time,
Yes, that's right.
right? Which is the difference between bodifying and matching, right? But you could bodify the past or the future, but matching is what's here right now, and how can I move that through my physical being, or with my
Mhm.
words describing it and coming into resonance with it and actually taking up space with it.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering, would this be a good time to play with some matching? And I don't know whether the maybe having the guided practice might be good first. So I want to see what you think about that. All right. So I would like to take you through a practice that was invented by Katie Hendricks. And it is an opportunity to play with this tool. And what I want to do is invite each of you to come up with an item to play with. So your item might be an issue, a challenge, a decision that you're trying to make that you might be struggling with, or it could be a potential. You're excited about a creative project, you're excited about something. So just choosing an item, whatever that is, and you don't need to share that, that's just for you, and just bringing it to mind. So I'll just give a couple seconds here for everyone to feel into an item. It doesn't have to be anything profound. It can be something really simple if you want. And then I'm going to invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze, whatever you prefer. And if you're having trouble picking an item, you can use that as your item. I don't know what item to use. Be totally fine. So let yourself imagine that you're on a porch swing and it has the most perfect rhythm. And imagine being with your item the way you'd be with a close friend. Let yourself breathe with that item. Breathe towards where you're experiencing that item in your body. When you bring to mind that item, notice where it is in your body, where you're experiencing it in your body. And relax the belly and let yourself take some nice breaths. And then bring that breath into and around and through that item so that you're breathing and being. And then let your hands in the space in front of you paint or sculpt your item just the way you're experiencing it right now. So you're letting your hands paint or sculpt your item in the space in front of you, just the way you're experiencing it right now. The size of it, the textures, the shape of it, the density. Notice if it has color, and just continue painting or sculpting it just as you're experiencing it. It may shift and change as you're matching it. Just keep going with it, being with it. And continue to let yourself breathe. And if you lose your breath, release your breath and let yourself breathe again. If your experience of the item changes, let the painting or sculpting change so that you continue to match. And then let yourself do all of it more, breathing more, moving more. And then notice if there's a sound that wants to come that matches your item. And let yourself make that sound. Everybody's on mute. You can make as much sound as you want. Now I'd like you to do your best to just open to wonder. And you can bring your hands down and let them relax. Continue to breathe. And let yourself create a pleasant sound. And actively wonder, what's there for me to discover about this? What's there for me to learn about all of this? And then just notice whatever arises. What's there for me to discover about this? What's there for me to learn about all of this? And then just love yourself. Let yourself love yourself for everything you're experiencing, for everything you're thinking, feeling, seeing, judging, all of it. And now think of someone that you know you love and give yourself that same quality of love for whatever you're experiencing now. And now let yourself follow any impulse that your body has. Might be love scoops or hugging yourself. Just notice how your body wants to be receiving love right now from yourself. And with another, what do you really want? What do you really want about all of this? What do you really want about this item? And just notice. It might not come right away or even in words. Just notice how your body responds to asking what you really want. And then keeping your eyes closed, or if your eyes are open if you want, let yourself move in any way that feels pleasurable. You can do some wiggles or some oozing, feeling your feet. And just ask yourself, what's the simplest action that you could take that's going to begin moving you towards what you really want? What's a measurable, pleasurable by when? By when will you do this action step that will take you towards what you really want? And once you have that, let yourself begin to slowly bring your attention back into the space. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. And if you want to write down anything that came to you, go ahead and take a few moments to jot it down. Hmm. So that's a way that you can bring matching to an issue or item that you have. And just play with it in that way. How was that for all of you? I'd like to hear your experience of that practice. Any insights? Yeah, Alana.
I had a really interesting insight. Thanks for leading us through that, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
I was I was sitting on the porch swing as you described, and then I imagined my item was like this large rock.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you said shape the experience as you're having it, I was shaping the rock. And then I was wondering, oh, maybe I'm supposed to be shaping the experience itself. So I got kind of confused and fell into like this analytical judgment of, oh, I'm having the wrong experience, as Katie says sometimes. And then through that, I realized, oh, or I tried to come back and say, okay, what if I'm having the right experience? I'll just continue shaping my rock and, you know, fully seeing the rock as it is. And then I realized it was actually perfect because my item is just that I'm so tired and I feel like I have so many things to do and all I want to do is rest. And I was like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense that my item is this like heavy feeling rock. I just want to be like a rock and not move and just be there. So I thought that was a cool experience. And yeah, it just helped me see like that is really so present for me of just needing to rest and be a rock.
Love it. Thank you. I love that journey that you took us through your experience. Nice. Yeah. Anybody else want to share
Alana, I'm just wondering if you could match for us right now that
Hmm.
feeling of being so tired and just wanting to rest.
It's funny because I actually feel a little bit more light
Mm,
after after this rock visualization.
that's great.
But I could go into
No,
what
no, you don't have to do it now because
Mm,
it's not here. So here's the thing. Here's what I was wanting, what was coming through is that when I match what's really going on, there's a liberation of energy that happens with it.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
guessing, it sounds like you might have experienced that.
Yeah, I think that's what happened because I was letting myself feel heavy and embracing the rock element. And when you said make the sounds, I made some kind of like, I'm just so tired, and so I do feel a little bit lighter. And I made a solid plan of some resting activities.
Okay, so beautiful. So these tools are a part of our Restoring Resourcefulness Toolkit. So
Mm.
the whole point here, and I see we have a hand up, the whole point here is to that we can sometimes I tell myself the story, I just need an hour or a day or whatever, and sometimes that is true. But if I'm able to be with myself and resource myself along the way, I'm often surprised at how much energy I can find or how much more aliveness I can invite. So that was so beautiful. I'm celebrating. I'm celebrating you, Alana, with
Yeah,
that.
that's definitely the case, and an extra little insight because I was still like looking to the future for my rest. But
Mhm.
yeah, as we're talking about it, I'm like, oh, I actually do have more energy and aliveness right now. So that's really cool. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Woo. Okay. Okay, yes. Moe, is it Moea? Help me make sure I want to.
It's okay, great. Hi. Yes, Maria, how are you?
Yeah.
So I just want to, I'm resonating with what you were saying and what Alana was saying, which is that I also visualize my issue as a rock. And where I was, when I located it, I realized that it was a really big rock because I was feeling it from my shoulders all the way down to my belly. So it was taking up a lot of space. And I hadn't realized how much space the issue was taking up. And so when we started using the hands, I started, as she did, I started molding my rock. But then my hands naturally started shrinking it. It's like, oh, wait, I have some control here. It doesn't have to feel this big. And my hands started like shrinking the rock. And it got down to like a square. And then I was like, wait, I could actually like transform it into like a ball. And like it started scrunching it up like it was a piece of paper. So it really just gave me a sense of wait, I can transform this into how big or small I want it to be.
oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and so eventually I ended by, I crumpled it up into a ball, and my action step was figurative. I just decided to roll the ball away. I can't make the issue disappear completely as far as like, okay, well, I can't go, disappear, but I removed it from even my immediate. I just was like, oh, I can just roll it away and it can stay way over there where it looks a lot smaller and more manageable, and I can
Mm.
reclaim my space. So
Ooh.
I also feel so much lighter. And it's a pretty, before we start, I was like, this is a big, heavy issue. I tried to choose a lighter issue because I didn't really want to deal with that issue, but it kept saying, well, this is the big issue. So just. And so, yeah, I definitely, it's the first time I've ever thought of matching as a tool to actually transform my energy in the present. Yeah. So,
It's like matching magic.
yeah.
Magic, magic. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you for that. I loved it.
Yeah, thank you for that. What a beautiful example of the transformation that happens when it's like Alana, you were having this experience, right, from one thing to the next. There's movement, there's motion, there's, as Diana was saying, a liberation of energy. And Moya, that is so gorgeous what you described. I love that. And like you said, it's not, you're not trying to deny that it's there. It's there, but now it's, I loved what you said, it's further away. It looks smaller. And so you're not adding story to it. The issue is the issue, but you're not adding this weight of whatever it was that was filling all of you. So yeah, wow, powerful. Thank you so much. Yeah, Diana, you have
One
something.
thing I want to interject with that I think is so profound, and that is when we don't add story, we allow the energy in motion to move
Yeah.
through, right? So the research now, and Gay talks about this, we're looking at maybe like 10 to 90 seconds of a pure emotion, of a feeling that is there. So when you're matching, you're also recognizing that it's, and that's why I loved Alana. You were like, yeah, no, I can't, it's gone. So don't go back and try to match it, because that's part of the beauty, is being able to be with what's here. So it's a helpful way of being with it, and then allowing it to actually do its work to move through, right? Then it gets to just, unattached to the story, it gets to just move through. So anyway, just that's, wow. Woo.
Love it. Thank you. Julie.
So unlike Moaya and Alana, I didn't have an object. I was like, what? Sculpting, painting with my hands. I'm like, okay, that's not what my hands are wanting to do right now. And then I just started like shooing my issue away, like, so it was like, oh, I guess what is wanting to happen here is there's some anger and some frustration. And so I just went, my portal was body movement. And then when we started matching with sounds, it was like, ugh, and so doing those two things is where I had my sort of liberation of energy.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, the sculpting and the painting, when I've done that part of the exercise and some other things,
Mhm.
that one doesn't tend to be the portal that speaks to me. But then I love how you were saying that there are other ones, the sound, the movement, the metaphor. And I thought, okay, those are portals that really speak my language.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Nice. I love it. And I like adding right now, because 2 weeks from
That's
now,
right.
it's suddenly that might be
I
the
might
best
be a
practice.
sculptor.
Exactly. You might be a sculptor. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So yay. Yay. That's awesome.
Thank you, Julie.
Yeah. Rashonda.
Well, I first just want to appreciate you, Michelle, because that was such a beautiful, guided,
Hmm.
like, I'm like, man, can I clip this from this recording to like have that as a
Yeah.
go-to? It was so beautiful. I love the swing.
Mm.
I loved like, oh, I'm gonna be with my issue. I have been matching for some years now, but never like through the storytelling meditation that you walked us through. So
Mm.
excellent, superb.
Oh.
Um, The issue that I had was just around some debt that I acquired over the last few years of doing a complete shift in careers and kind of going in an unpaved path and exploring and figuring out, what's working, what's not working. And so when we had the visual, I saw like the two stacks of money, like the debt divided in two and how like heavy they were and like it was so hard to carry them and it was just like but they were shiny and gold and like green like you could see the dollars and then when it was like sculpting them like what you prompted us to do next I was just like pushing it down like dissolving it and then the thought that came up was that this was the price that I thought I had to pay. And I thought I had to suffer to do this work that I do. Oh, I feel so emotional around that. I'm definitely gonna
Mm.
commit to like after our call today to maybe be with that.
Mhm.
But then when it was like, what do you want? Like just this like new plan of like this, I have some opportunities lined up, but I wasn't sure how to propose um the asking of the money for it. So like that plan just like dropped in and I feel some fear around that. So I'll be working with that too. But it was a really, really rich experience. And I just wanted to say thank you, Michelle. That was really amazing. Like,
Yay. I'm
good
so glad
job.
that
I
I'm
love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad, and I'm totally crediting Katie because it's Katie's process. And two things. One, yes, you'll be able to get the recording and you can listen to it on your phone and have that. I think that's a great idea of having that little audio.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is there's an audio of Katie doing a similar process. It might even be the same process. I haven't listened to it for a long time. So I put the link in the chat for the matching. And if you're watching this and you can't see the chat, it's on the Foundation for Conscious Living. Just look up the Restoring Resourcefulness program and go to the matching module. And there's an audio of Katie. We have other classes that we've done on this. So, excuse me. So there's a lot of different resources, and I really love that process as well. And I'm really glad that you got so much out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've visited that one, and so thank you. Thanks for the reflection. And yeah, so we're going to be kind of coming in for a landing here. And I want to appreciate each of you for your contributions and your exploration. I definitely learned some things here today and feel really excited about it. And Diana, I just want to throw it over to you for any last words.
Mm, my last word is just yum. Thank you. All that was just, we got to, I think this real time, being with ourselves in real time and seeing what's possible and how we can, it's a great way to handle the fear that we have when there's a feeling that comes through us or an experience and we think it's going to stay forever. When you're matching, you get to watch how quickly that's shifting and moving through. And as some of you talked about, you got to bring your own agency to that too, and actively choose and shape. And it's just beautiful and inspiring being in community with you. I'm so grateful for each of you enhancing my learning. And thank you for being here.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Diana. That was such a one of the things that I learned today is that the matching um, when we're matching a feeling, that it brings to light the truth about that feeling, that it is in motion. And so that's and that it, I'm going to play with that a lot more, that whatever's coming up for me, I'm going to play with matching it with painting or sculpting or sound, and just see how that affects each of the feelings that I have arising. So thanks everyone for co-creating this really magical matching today. And we'll be I the next class is coming up. I don't remember the date, but just go ahead and keep connected to the community, either on the online community or through the emails. And we'll see you next time.